Yes, yes. 1212. Mic check. Yes, people. It's going down. It's Ash Noble, MC Noble, whoever you want to call me these days. And welcome back to the aftermath of DNA Hardcore Billy's memorial event. So recently, I've done these like sort of streams slash updates where I just sort of give you my thoughts on the event or the gig where I played, and I just tell you guys a little bit about what went down and just sort of give you my opinion on the event itself, and just more to what went down really, and stuff like that. And we just kind of like finish the event and close it off, and then we sort of focus on whatever's coming next. So for those of you who aren't aware, if you've not been active on my channel recently and you've not been browsing, I got invited to do a memorial event for Billy's memorial. So Billy sadly passed away, and I was invited down with the DNA crew, and we was putting on a little live stream stroke a little rave event just in memory of Billy. We was raising money just to go towards the funeral, and just to sort of just do Billy something proud really. And we DNA put on this little night. So I was obviously invited down, and I DJ'd, I MC'd, and all I've got to say is what an amazing night it was, and everybody did Billy proud really. Everybody did justice. Everybody behind the decks absolutely smashed it. So what went down as far as me at the event? Well, me and CMD, we did a B2B. First time I've ever been B2B with CMD. And the set was a little bit of a mixture of old hardcore versus sort of some newer hardcore. So I played a few classics. I played some newer stuff as well, some like new remixes of some older stuff. But I played some classics as well. And we just absolutely ripped it up really. And I played some banging tunes. CMD played some banging tunes, and we just had an absolutely amazing time behind the decks. Now, things can't always go right, so we had a few technical issues on the club side. We had a little bit of issue getting the live stream going to start with. There was something not right with a sound card or something, so we decided to iRig into a phone instead, which meant that we couldn't go live on Twitch and YouTube as well, which was a little bit of a shame, because it would have been good to do the whole thing justice and have the whole thing streamed from the start to the end. But sadly, it was just the way it was. But it was still, we still got together, we still celebrated the memorial for Billy, and, the lives that we were able to do, people locked in and people loved it. And we had a few people in the club as well. It wasn't massively packed, but there was a few people that came and showed a little bit of support, and it was just absolutely fantastic. Now, there's one thing I do wanna mention. And to be honest, I never thought I'd be coming back to mention this, because it blows my mind. But for those of you who are or are not aware, earlier on this year, Darren Styles put a remix competition out on his Facebook, and I presume he'd announced it on his other socials as well. And two of his classic hardcore tracks that he'd done back in the day, Come Running and Save Me, he put a little remix competition out. So he put a download link for the stems, so you got the vocals, you got the melodies and the midis, and basically anyone could enter this competition, and whoever won the competition, the track would get signed to a label. And basically, loads of people would have entered, loads of up-and-coming producers out there, and loads of people would have thought, you know what, I'll have a go at this. So me and Leeton, ourselves, we decided that we're going to take a crack at this, and we're going to have a little go at remixing the tune. So at first, we wanted to do something a little bit different, and we wanted to do a mashup of the both. So you'd have the pianos and the melodies for Come Running, but you'd have the vocals for Save Me, and then in the second breakdown, you'd have the melodies and the pianos for Save Me, but you'd have the vocals for Come Running. Now, sadly, we couldn't get it to work. We wasn't really sure what we was really doing with it, and we didn't really know where we wanted it to go. So I sort of put the project to bed and just sort of thought, you know what, I just don't know what I want to do with it at the moment. And something would always drag me back to go on to the project and, you know, just have a play and have a look at it and just sort of think like, you know, what could I actually do with this? And there was various times where I loaded the program up and I'd just like listen to the tune and I just would not know what to do with it. So I'd close the program again and then I'd come across the project file again and I'd think, I wonder what I can do to this. I was scratching my head, and then one day I just decided that I was going to scrap the mashup idea and just do the Come Running, do the version of Come Running. So I started mixing the version of Come Running, and I made it sound a lot better. And then I got to another blank point where I wasn't really sure what to do. And it was taunting with my head. It was taunting with my brain. I was thinking, what do I do from here? What could I do that's just gonna make the track just so sick? And then I was just playing around with like a little jump up D&B bass sound, and I decided that it was gonna have this sort of big build up, and then it was gonna drop into this sick D&B drop. And you know, I thought, you know what, I'm gonna give it a try. But I was still a little bit unsure because there's some people that like their hardcore and like the D&B. There's some people that like them mixed together, and then there's some people that just think, you know, D&B in a sort of like hardcore tune just sort of ruins it. So I was a bit, am I going to get people on side here, or am I going to get a lot of people moaning, you know, say about the D&B part being in the tune? So I thought I'll do it anyway. If it works, it works. If it doesn't, it doesn't. So I put it in. To cut the story short, sadly, we didn't win the competition. I had a vague idea that we wouldn't win it anyway. You know, thousands of people would have entered it anyway. It was just nice to get the stems, really, and be able to, like, play around with them. Because there's certain tunes that I'd love to remix, and you just can't get vocals for them. So we did our version anyway. We put the D&B bit in. And I was doing a live stream at home. And I decided to drop it in. I think it was like one of the first times I dropped it in. And I was just sort of doing a sort of mix of some of my own stuff that I'd created. I was just on a page late at night. And one of my friends, Luke Fairbanks, locked in. And he just absolutely went mad for the drop. He just absolutely loved it. So he was texting me. You know, he was like, who's done this tune? Who's done this version? Who's done this remix? And he was commenting in. So I was like, I've done that, you know, this is my version, this. And he's like, oh, this is sick. This is the best remix of the tune I've heard. And, you know, this is the best remix I've heard in a long time. I haven't heard a tune drop like that in ages. So I thought, all right, yeah, maybe he likes the tune. So I sent it to him. And he played it on his live streams. He promoted it a bit, got quite a bit of love and stuff like that. So I was quite pleased. So we released it on Layman Productions as a free download because obviously we couldn't sort of release it and sell it because Darren Styles owns the rights to the track itself and he won't allow us to release it, and it was an entry for the competition. So we didn't win, obviously, so we put it up as a free download just for people to grab it and mix it in their sets. So anyway, I go to DNA on Friday and I plug my USB in, and some of the tracks that I planned for the set just wasn't there. I couldn't find them. They weren't loading. So I had to do a little bit of a just sort of chuck anything together kind of thing, which when you can mix, you know, you don't always necessarily have to follow like a set plan. Like if you just physically know how to mix and you've got a good understanding and you've mixed a lot of hardcore tunes, you can pick two tracks that will go together quite well. So I decided that, you know, I just felt quite lively. I felt in the mood. So I decided that during the set I was going to drop the tune in. I thought, you know what, I'll give it a little play. You know, what can possibly go wrong? So I'm sort of finishing off with the last track, and you can hear the remix coming in, and people sort of, you know, recognise it's Come Running, but they're not sure of the version. So I've got people that are in the venue like coming up on stage and saying, you know, who's this remix of the Come Running? You know, who's this version of the Come Running? So I'm like, it's mine, it's mine. And at first they're a little bit like, get over, you didn't do this. You know, it's just sort of coming in, and then he go over to Lee, and they're like, you know, who's done this remix? Is it Noble that's done it? And then Lee's like, yeah, it's me and Noble that's done it. So anyway, so they go back off the stage, and they're just talking and, you know, randomly getting on with the night. And then obviously the breakdown comes in, you hear the Come Running vocals, and then it builds up and it drops into the D&B bit, and everybody in that club just went absolutely mad for it. I've never seen a reaction to one of my own tracks like that. Never in a million years, and people was absolutely going mad for it, and people that were sort of outside having a smoke, they dotted like half a smoke out and came inside just to hear it, because they'd never heard a drop like that in years on a tune. And people was just absolutely mad for it. I had people asking me where they could buy it from. I had people asking me, you know, like, you know, where can we get this tune? So I was just so glad that I dropped it in. But it's so overwhelming because, you know, you sit there and you play it and you don't always think, God, it was me that actually made that. But when you do think about it, sorry, it was actually me that made it. You know, it was me that sat there with Lee and made it. And we did the tune together. And it's just absolutely crazy, but people went absolutely nuts for it. So it really made the set like just so good. It like got everybody so hyped and pumped, and everybody was just so sort of interested to sort of hear how the rest of the set was going to pan out. You know, if there's going to be big drops like that, you know, they're thinking, you know, what else is Noble going to drop, kind of thing. So I found some other good tunes, and you know, they had some heavy drops in them. Some went into some hard style drops, and some had some dubstep drops. And I tried to sort of, you know, make the tune sort of so you know, the mix sort of as different and as good as I could, with some good you know, with some good remixes and some good bangers, really. But yeah, it just absolutely made the set. Just dropping that Darren Styles tune. So we dropped a few good bangers, and people loved the set. And then later on, I jumped on the mic and did my MCing and stuff, and that went down really well as well. That was good. People was loving me on the mic, and you know, there was some other DJs that dropped some D&B tunes in as well with the hardcore. So I had a good you know, spit to the D&B, which was really good. And the night was just, all in all, it was just something to remember. You know, the club wasn't absolutely packed. The live stream did quite well, but we had a few issues. But the whole point of it was just all of us friends, you know, we got together, and we just, you know, we paid our respect for Billy, and we just put on a banging night regardless, and everybody just enjoyed it. Everybody had fun, and everybody was just getting along with each other. And you know, again, you know, I've made more friends that, you know, I will hold forever, and you know, some more music people that, you know, I'm gonna hopefully see at other events, rocking up to, and it's just, you know, it's just absolutely crazy. It's, you know, it's just amazing to go and do something like this. So I can't tell you how much money has been raised. Let me see if I can get the link up, and I'll give you a total on how much money was raised for the event. So let me just have a quick skeg and see if there's see if I can get the GoFundMe link and see if it still works. So here's GoFundMe. Let's have a look. All right. Oh, so actually, £53 was raised. So we haven't done too bad. I've seen donations. If I'm gonna be honest, I've seen quite a few donations. You know, do quite a bit better actually. But you know, it was kind of, some of it was last minute, to be honest, and you know, it was just sort of the way it went. But you know, we still had an absolutely amazing time. nevertheless, we still put on an absolutely banging night, and we still did Billy justice. He'd have been glad that people just got together, played some of his favourite music, and even Billy's son came down just to see the event and just to, sort of support it. But sadly, he had work the next day, so he couldn't stay like all night. But he stayed for a bit, and even he recognised the "Come Running" tune because his dad used to play the original version when he was alive. So he said it was a banging remix as well, as he doesn't mind a little bit of his D&B. So that was good. But all in all, it was just a really good night. And it was also Monster's birthday, so like at midnight it became Monster's birthday. So we did some like spin backs on the tune, and we did like an announcement on the mic, and we all sung happy birthday. And then a bit later on, someone had actually bought a birthday cake, and they brought it through with the candles, and Monster blew his candles out. Myself and Lee, we met Monster before the event, and we grabbed a bite to eat. Went to a really nice all-you-can-eat curry place, curry and Chinese place. It was, if you've ever been to like a Wings in Hull, and I know there's like Wings in other places as well, where it's like a all-you-can-eat cuisine. So you get like loads of different genres of food, different countries of food, like Italian stuff, Chinese stuff, Indian stuff, that sort of stuff, all your seafood and stuff like that, and loads of desserts and stuff. It was like that, but it was better, and they also had a deal on as well. So it was actually quite cheap to go in. It would have normally been like 15 quid, and it got like knocked down to round about a tenner to go in. So because it was Monster's birthday, you didn't really want to say no. We went in, and it was probably one of the best decisions I've ever made, because I was taunting on whether to go in or not. I was thinking, am I really in the mood for like sitting down and eating something, or am I just sort of more hyped for the event and just want to get there and get in the club and stuff. And then the more I thought about it, I thought maybe having a bit of scran would do me some good. Before we go to the event. So I thought, it's Monster's birthday, why not stuff it, let's go in. And it was, like I say, it was one of the best decisions I've ever made, because the food in there was just absolutely gorgeous. Now, I've been to Wings quite a few times, and I've had the chips at Wings, and the chips in Wings, they taste quite cheap. Like they taste like the chips you'd get at the cafeteria in a hospital. Whereas the chips at this place, which I can't remember for the life of me what the place was called, the chips was just really nice. I also tried these like barbecue chicken things. It was like these chicken things with barbecue sauce. They had a bit of a spice to them. It was absolutely amazing. And I also had some naan bread, which my friend used to run, an Indian takeaway. And I've tried I tried the naan bread from there, from one of his chefs, and I have to say it, the naan bread at this place was just miles better. It was just so soft. It was so nice. The poppadoms were nice. I also tried these chicken potato things. It was like it was almost like mashed potato, but it had like it was like mashed potato balls, and it had like a batter around it. The food was just amazing. And then they said, what do you want to drink? And I was thinking, I don't know if I really want like a fizzy drink or anything, because I don't want to bloat myself up, because I want to actually go and have a couple of plates full of food. So I actually decided just to get water. So we all had water. So they brought a jug to the middle of the table, and it was just, it was nice. It was good. Because if I hadn't have gone to the restaurant place, I would have probably just found like a kebab shop later on at night. And to be honest with you, I'm glad I went for something a little bit different. And I was even trying some things that I maybe necessarily wouldn't have normally tried, which was it was good. So all in all, it sort of made topped off the night really. But sadly, my friend Lee and Monster decided the day before that they was going to challenge each other as to who could eat the most food. And they both got 3 plates full, so we decided to call it a draw, but they did not half suffer for it. Now, I ate 2 platefuls, and they were big, full platefuls, and I probably could have gone and got another plate, but it would have bloated me, and I would have felt absolutely like I would have felt rubbish for it. I ate the 2 plates that I had, and I was full, but I wasn't like a bloated full, so I didn't like feel uncomfy, but I felt like I'd just eaten a nice amount of food. So I thought this is a good time for me to stop. I was even taunting, do I just try a bit of chocolate ice cream or something towards the end, but time was sort of ticking to get to the club and stuff. But they paid for it. There was absolutely, there was just absolutely, Lee was just, he was just stood about for ages at the event, sort of holding his stomach and feeling a bit crap and chucking one because they'd gone sort of to do this challenge, and Monster was a little bit the same. He was, he was absolutely bloated himself. So, whereas me, I felt alright, I felt full, but I felt fine. I felt absolutely fine. And yeah, so that was DNA really. That's what went down. Sadly, Aurora D, she couldn't make the event because something had happened to her legs, and she was having an operation on them or something. So she couldn't like stand behind decks and stuff for long, and then stand about dancing all night. So sadly, Aurora D didn't make it, but the rest of the lineup, also apart from Energized, he also couldn't make the event because I think he was booked somewhere else the day after, and I think he was battling a head cold or something, or he wasn't feeling too good, or he'd like lost his throat or something, lost his voice or something. Is what that's what he put in the group chat. I apparently heard something different, but that's not for me to go over in the live stream. But other than that, the lineup stayed the same. The MCs rocked it, the DJs rocked it. So next up for me is Stomp for Jordan this Friday, which is absolutely going to be banging. So if you do want to come down to Stomp for Jordan, it's in Club Vega and Club Edge in Hull, so that's down in Witham. If you followed my channel before, it's where Stomping has their events, and it's where there's a lot of like local house nights and things. They're often ran inside of them 2 nightclubs, and I'm doing a classic house set in room 2, which I think is the downstairs room, and I'm playing from 9:45 until 10:30, so it's a 45-minute set, and then I'm also MCing later on in the upstairs room, which is like the harder music. So you've got a bit of a choice, if you like your house, your trance and your techno, you can chill out downstairs. If you like things to be a little bit harder, we've got like the hardcore and the Makina upstairs, and you'll have all the MCs hosting, and you'll have all the other bits and bobs going on. So it should be a good night. I'm looking forward to it. Like I say, I'm looking forward to the house set more than the MCing, because I've MC'd for a lot of years now, and I'm sort of getting into the DJing at the moment, but I still like to MC, so it'll be nice to just pick up the mic a little bit later on. I won't be drinking too much because I'm at a party the next day, so if you do see me and you want to buy me a drink, just beware that I won't be going crazy. I won't be getting on all the shots and everything, because I'm at a birthday party the next day, and I've kind of sort of like cut back on the drinking a bit, especially when I'm performing, just so I can kind of keep a little bit of a clear head for the performing. I got told, I think a couple of events ago, or maybe not the last DNA, the DNA before, I got told by a couple of people that when I had a few drinks, I was starting to slur a bit on the mic, and I wasn't sounding as good as I do when I'm sober. So I'm thinking, like, I don't want to be sounding like that. So I have sort of cut down a bit, especially if I'm performing. If I'm going like just as a raver and just to support the event, then I'll definitely have a few drinks. But because I'm actually performing, I want to keep a clear mind state, and like I say, I'm at the party the day after, and then the following week we've got the big one. We've got the Scunthorpe, the Bounce Till You Drop, with Club Filler, John Neal, so some big like Clubland DJs and Bounce Heaven DJs on the lineup on the roster, and I'm absolutely cannot wait to go to that event. I'm so buzzed to do it. It's quite a big one for me as well. One of the biggest events I've ever been booked at. Just in terms of like names on the flyer and stuff, like who I'm sort of up there with. So I'm quite buzzed for this one. And this one starts at 11 at night, goes all the way through until 6 in the morning. Now, I don't think I'll be staying till 6 in the morning, because my friend's actually got work the next day who's giving me a lift. But we're going to try and stay as long as we can. We want to catch Club Filler, obviously, and stuff like that. I'm on the first set at 11, so I'm opening the night up, which I couldn't be any happier with. I actually do enjoy opening the night up, because you're kind of setting the night off for people. And I've got some good tunes that will get people in the mood for the night. And I've done some good tunes there, some good selections, because I know when Club Filler and things come on, they're going to play them well-known Clubland tunes and them well-known songs. So I've kind of gone a little bit different to that, and I'm playing a couple of like Clublandy songs, but I'm not going to play anything that's going to be too Clublandy, because I don't want to kind of play stuff that the headliners are going to play anyway. So I found some like good remixes of some like old school house songs that have been like, they've made donk remixes of them, and I found some pretty good stuff. Some of them to mention is Dana Dawson, Free His Family, Abigail Bailey, I Just Can't Get Enough. God, what else have we got on the list? We've got a remix of Higher Love, which is from 1 and 2. We've got a remix of Breeze and Styles, Amigos, really good remix by by Andy Whitby, and I think was it Andy Whitby and Club Filler? I think it was Andy Whitby and Club Filler that remixed it. We've got some other remixes as well. We've got a remix of Way in My Brain. We've got some Kings of Leon remixes as well. So we've got some a little bit of a variety of different stuff going on. I might even drop a couple of exclusives of my own remixes. I've just been working on one in the recent couple of days, and I'm actually really happy with it. So I'll be making a live stream in the next day or so, and I'll be showing you showing you the track and going over the track. I've really got into making my bounce tunes at the moment, and this one is just sounding good. My production level's definitely improving, so I'm thinking about putting a little bounce EP together, a little like almost like a little album. There'll be like maybe, I don't know, like maybe 6 tracks in it or something like that, 6 remixes, and up to now there's already 3 tunes for it. So if I did another 3 tunes, that would give us the 6. Obviously the 3 tunes I've done, they still need a little bit of polishing up and fixing up, and they need the mastering and stuff, but I think all in all, it's going to be good, and it'll be a nice little EP, and it'll definitely bring some different vibes to the situation, so, to the bounce scene. But yeah, so that's really going to do it. That, I just wanted to sort of wrap up how DNA went. As far as I'm aware, DNA is doing another event. I think it's going to be in either October or November. I think it was November. But don't quote me on it, and that I'm aware of. I will be booked for doing it. I got told that there was going to be another one, so I'm presuming they do want me down for it. But obviously all I can do and you can do is keep your eyes peeled, and when I know more, I'll actually know more, and I'll be able to let you know what's going on. As far as DNA goes, and what will be happening with the launch and the brand. Obviously there's the sort of excite to get over of this one, but I know that there is definitely another one in the pipeline, and also keep an eye out for more announcements and things like that, as I'll be announcing more bookings and gigs that I'm playing at, which is going to be wicked. I know October, I've got a couple of gigs. One of them's yet to be announced. One of them has been announced, but I just haven't made the stream for it yet. So if you don't follow me on Facebook, you won't know what that one is. You won't know what it is, what it's about. But all I can say is it's quite a decent one. So just keep your eyes peeled for when I do the stream. If you don't follow me on Facebook, and like I say, all you've got to do is just keep activated. Click that notification bell, so you'll know when I go live and when I upload. And if you miss the lives, you can watch them back, and then you'll know exactly what I'm doing, where I'm going, where I'm playing, and what my nights are bound to be like. Also, in regards to this DNA, when I get sent through some more videos, because other people took videos as well, if there's any videos with me on them, I'll be sure to upload them, and I'll be sure to show you guys a bit more about what the night was like. I know there'll be some videos to upload of myself on the mic and stuff like that, so keep your eyes peeled, and I'll be uploading them as well. Make sure to like, comment, share, subscribe. We'll see you guys all later. Cheers.